Hey, this is David Howard Thornton, but you might know me as Art the Clown from the movie Terrifier and the upcoming Terrifier 2. And you're watching the Balls from Ellwood show. Kill you soon.
Hey now, cats, we're back on the Balls from Ellwood show, and we're live from the apocalypse in the Twilight Zone. Xtina, last week I thought was crazy. This week is a whole level of craziness. Ooh. What the hell is going on?
I don't know, man. This is the craziest thing I can remember in our lifetime. I mean, 9/11 was pretty bad, but this is pretty close to it. I mean,
events have come and gone. We had 9/11, swine flu.
H1N1. Wasn't that swine flu, I guess? Huh?
Yes. We're going to have to look back and tell everyone we were there for the toilet paper shortage of 2020.
That's right. Imagine that.
But anywho, I mean, you unfortunately have been having to work.
I've been going into work, people. I mean, I'm okay. But yeah, been going to work. I work in the healthcare industry.
Why do you got to be
Good
so
times.
Necessary?
I don't know, man. I've never known I was necessary in all my life. Who knew?
See, I've come to grips that I'm unnecessary, so this is not a surprise to me. So
oh,
I mean,
man,
it's funny though, man, because like you think you'd be really, really excited and happy to have to stay at home.
Yeah, isn't that what you always?
When I first heard it, I was like,
anytime.
oh, that shouldn't be so bad, you know.
Yeah.
And now I'm like ready to go crazy. So
yeah.
And let me let you in a little secret. The stuff that you think you want to do when you're home, you don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah, especially when you're like worried about things and
it's been nothing but nonstop, like anxiety.
Maybe getting paid, maybe not getting paid. Yeah. Don't know where the money's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, luckily you're working, man. I mean, they shut the doors down where I work at till further notice. I'm gonna, if the quarantine ends, I'll be going back to work. If it doesn't, who knows? I guess we're gonna get laid off. So
yeah. I mean, it's gonna end sometime. It's just a matter of when.
Just craziness all around, man. I mean, I don't know what to say, but the only thing that's been keeping me somewhat as normal as possible is Vincent Price movies and video games, and that's movies in general. So I mean. I was watching, you come in from work yesterday, I'm watching Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price. I didn't realize, I've seen this movie 100 times, I didn't realize this is probably the worst thing if you want to watch, if you're worried about the pandemic.
Right.
It's odd though, like that movie's so old, it was probably like the 50s or 60s, and if you take out the whole vampire element, it's what's going on right now. I mean, very strange times.
There could be vampires, there could be zombies. They could be coming.
I know, we haven't seen them yet.
Anyway, ooh.
And then I'm watching the worst thing you could probably possibly do right now if you want to go crazy, stay on social media.
Yeah.
I'm about this close to the fucking nut house. Like if I hear, they should have a coronavirus drinking game. Anytime you see or hear coronavirus,
well, then we'd really be dead.
I'd be dead in a fucking half hour. So I mean,
yeah, it's all the people. I mean, I get it because it's all we can talk about. Because I think it's like one of the very few times in the world that we're all like going through the same thing, which is pretty wild. I mean, there's actors and musicians and, their tours are canceled, their sets are canceled. I mean, we as a whole have no choice but to sit still and do nothing, and now there's social media, so what do? And it's a way of connecting, which is nice, and there's some good about it, but yeah, there's probably more bad than good. So
it's been a non-stop irritant since since I'm trying to like live
Shield
in like
yourself, yeah.
Ballsville, where there's rivers of like Diet Pepsi, and there's midgets with crofts of beer, and there's chocolate, and all the fine things in life. There's everything I love, and then every 5 minutes, coronavirus. How many hundreds of thousands of people dead now? This and this and this and this, and I'm just like, fuck. I just want to live in Ballsville a little bit. Is that too much to ask?
It's not too much to ask, honey.
But anyway, thank goodness for Vincent Price movies. That's all I'm trying to say. I've been playing this funky little game. It's like a homemade labor of love from these people. I mean, I used to tinker it when I was younger, and then it wasn't fully developed. In fact, they were getting sued for copyright.
Oh, geez.
But now they offer it as a free thing. I'll put the link up. And if you ever was one of those people who's like, wow, I really wish they'd have played like a Mortal Kombat or kind of Street Fighter game, but with all of horror movie villains, this is it. It's awesome. Each level is like all the places where they would be. Like there's Crystal Lake and Chucky's, Good Guy Toy Story,
That's
and
funny.
Freddy's Boiler Room, and etc. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'll put a link up. There's moves list. It's moves just like Mortal Kombat, and I've been super hooked on that.
Fun.
Kenny Rogers died. What do you think of that?
I know.
I mean, for punkers and ska dudes and people like us, you don't think would care, but in all honesty, I grew
he's
up
a
with
legend,
my grandpap used to like Kenny
it's
Rogers.
like it goes back to our grandparents.
Yeah, it's kind of a better time. He used to love The Gambler, and he turned me on all that shit. And I remember, I just have fond memories of him singing in the car, The Gambler, and Coward of the County and shit like
he's
that.
a legend.
So,
I don't care who you are.
Yeah, you could really be like in any genre and appreciate a legend.
Plus, if you like food, there was
them roasters.
Kenny Rogers roasters.
I'm telling you, if you like greasy, disgusting, shitty chicken,
what more could
it
you
was
ask
great,
for?
man. They were good.
Yeah,
like you could just look at it and gain 5 pounds. So.
Right.
And then, he was more pulled back than any of those turkeys or chickens he sold, but he was looking pretty janky at the end there. He looked pretty good up till almost the bitter end, man. I think his real forehead started where his ass is now. But I mean,
oh Lord.
But I mean, he was
Rest in peace, Kenny.
Rest in peace, Kenny. That's all I'm trying to say.
Anywho.
But anyway, have you ever had a really fucked up dream, Xtina?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Can you name us one? Like, what's a good example?
Boy.
Do you ever wake up and you're at the podium and you're doing a class presentation naked?
No, I haven't had that, but I've often had recurring dreams of going to school, whether at high school or college, and I'm always either not getting to lunch. Apparently, as our lives revolve around food a little too much. So even in my dreams, I'm like, where's the food? Or I have this dream of college. I've been out of college for 20 some years, right? And I missed a class, and I didn't just miss one day of the class. The whole semester went by, and I didn't realize that I didn't go to this particular class. It's weird, but those are the kind of recurring weird dreams I have. I guess it's not really terrifying or anything, but it's just weird that I would still dream like that after 20 years out of school and 25 out of high school. So anyway, what about you, Balls? I know you have some whacked out dreams.
Well, I mean, anybody that listens to this show or watches or knows me well knows that I have two types of dreams. They're either extremely terrifying or the dumbest thing you've ever heard of in your life. So normally they're on this end, which, I have a reoccurring dream. I'm trapped. It's it's Evil Dead meets Jeepers Creepers. I've had this since I was a kid. I've probably had this reoccurring dream probably 30, 40, 50 times in my life. Jeez. Trapped in this cabin with my family and my neighbors from 6th grade.
Wow.
And even now, if I have it, it's still the same people.
That's wild.
And there's these winged creatures, and they wrap around, we're in the middle of a forest, and they wrap around the trees. So it's camouflaged, and they blend in, and they look like trees. So, if you go anywhere near them, they just come out and they just eat you. So, and they're trying to get into the cabin, and we're trying to, it's like Night of the Living Dead. We're trying to keep the boards up and nailed in so they don't get in. They're busting through, and that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Or I have a dream that I'm having dinner with you guys, and I'm eating black beans. So there's the two ends of the pendulum. So I have a dream the other day. And I wake up and I couldn't stop laughing. I had to tell her. She's like, "What's so funny?" And I'm like, "You're never gonna believe this. I don't even know how my brain does this. I wasn't thinking about it. They say whatever you think about before you go to bed is sometimes what you're gonna dream about.
Yeah, but I
don't buy that
sometimes,
shit,
but not all.
Because it doesn't happen to me at all. It's always some weird off the wall other place. in my mind. So I have a dream that there's a Burger King, and I don't know if it's because plant-based meat was on my mind and people are so health conscious and eating all that shit now.
Right.
But it's at Burger King. I'm at a Burger King, and they have this new thing called the period burger, which that alone sounds disgusting enough that I don't think anybody would ever want to eat that. No. But what it was like there's women fighting over it, like in line, like the Popeyes chicken and like the toilet paper now, and they're like fighting, and they're all fucking, perioded out. And Aunt Flo had hit, and they're all bitchy, and they're clawing each other, and like, it's my fucking burger, and they're fucking fighting and beating the shit out of each other over the period burger. And it's a burger they were serving that, calms the effects of your monthly. So like you eat it, and it like turns Aunt Flo right off.
Wow. Wait, it turns it off completely? Or?
Well, no. It turns off the symptoms. Like everybody, like the minute after you eat it, within like so many minutes, you're fucking normal again.
That's pretty nice. Yeah. Wow.
And they're all fighting over this, and I just want to get them all.
If you have bad cramps, you would eat this period burger for sure.
I was gonna say, would you eat a period? If this was a real thing, would you venture out and get it?
I personally wouldn't really have to because I'm very blessed with normal time of month, but. I've had bad cramps in the past, and let me tell you, if that ever resurface, absolutely I would eat a period burger because it is awful. It's awful.
Well, I have to say, trapped in the house, I feel like I'd probably need a period burger. I'm so edgy lately, But
wow.
But yeah, that's there you have it, folks. Like it's either all or nothing, like crazy or stupid. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it's good material for the show, perhaps.
Sure, great material. Got it.
But moving on, we talked about being things you could do to keep occupied while you were in the apocalypse here. I have to say, I give it up to Jason Blumhouse and Universal Studios. They're my new heroes for the week, because movie theaters, as you know, are closed. The only good thing out of this, Cats, I think that would be is drive-ins are finally starting to get more love. It's a thing that I always think it was important, and they're a dying breed. And now, it's the shit. You don't have to be around anybody. You're isolated in your car. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to touch anybody. Tune it in right on the radio. That's the only good thing to come out of that is drive-ins might get a little more
a little spike in business.
But this whole thing is killing the movie industry. It's killing the music industry. It's killing every industry you could possibly have.
Except for retail.
What did it say? This year, the movie industry is going to lose $4 billion from this.
Oh my God.
So that being said, I think it's very commendable for a company to step up and be like, I know these people are at home. They want to come out and see our product. They can't. Right. So now we're going to make it readily available.
Yeah.
Now that you're home. So I understand in the times of piracy and different things, it'd be a very a thing that you wouldn't want to do. But I think it's that's not even a worry. I think it's nice that they put people over a $. So right now you could actually go and you're on demand and you could see some cool films that would be in the theater right now that I missed. I wanted to go see The Hunt when all this shit started, but then I got worried and they told you not to go to the theater. And I have a compromised immune system, so I'm trying to be locked up in here like Night of the Living Dead to begin with. Mm-hmm. You could ask her, I'm probably driving her crazy. But
not yet.
I've been trying to, be very, very minimal in my contact or going out. So this is perfect, man. As of right now, you can log on, you can see Leah Wannell's The Invisible Man, which we covered in our last show. The Hunt, which I'll be getting to that. You could see Emma, but who gives a fuck about that? I don't care about that. And on April 4th, you could see Trolls World Tour, which I'm oddly excited for. I don't know why.
The Trolls movies are pretty darn good.
But I have to say, I'm glad I got to finally see The Hunt. I was bugging her to go and all this before the shit broke out.
I was scared.
She said, it's a little too close to home, I don't want to go. So got to see it. It was blackly comic, which I wasn't expecting. I thought that was very cool.
That is interesting.
It's it's nothing, a premise you haven't seen before. It's the most dangerous game. Dropping a group of people off, the rich elites hunt them down. But it does have some nice twists and turns, and it's nice to see a strong, a strong feminine hero. For it's few and far between. Usually it's the shaved ape with the gun like Vin Diesel or Bruce Willis. I get so sick of seeing the same narrative. It's ridiculous. Right. So it was nice to see a strong female character.
That is nice.
In a while, and It kept me laughing. It kept me excited. Your boy, how do you pronounce his name?
Ethan Suplee.
Ethan Suplee is in it. And
Formerly, like, of...
My Name is Earl.
My Name is Earl,
Mallrats.
the really big guy, and he actually, let me give him a quick plug. He lost all this weight. He's
He used to look like me. Now he looks
super
like
ripped.
good.
And he does the plant-based diet thing. He works out a lot. Something to do with maybe keto too. I mean, he's all about it. He has a podcast called American Glutton. If you're interested in that and hearing how he has changed his life, so it's pretty cool.
That was a journey, man, because he used to look like me, and now he looks good looking. So
He's bigger than you, man. He was big. He was up to like 500 pounds, I think. So.
Oh shit! I didn't know he was that big.
He was big. So, I mean, he had lost weight here and there, but like never to where he is now. You know.
I think the most I've ever lost was like 100 pounds, and then life's little stresses, and put it right back on. So, what are you gonna do?
About that.
But anywho, check out the Hunt Cats. I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's probably weighed in to be one of my most fond films of this year, and I've seen some good stuff. So other than that, as we talked about the movie industry being affected by this whole thing, bands, music, indie, especially indies, are being super, super destroyed by this. And as if you know me and Xtina, we are a music family. We love concerts. We love our bands. We love it's life to us. It's not just a hobby.
Right.
So
and these bands aren't, they're making money to make a living. But that's what, I mean, they have to tour. They have to constantly be on tour to make that money. And now they can't be. So, like, they're screwed. So we need to help them. Now's the time. If you, like a certain band and you've always wanted to buy their hoodie or buy their shirt, now's the time to do that. Because they need some love and support.
I agree. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about where you can do that at. I think it's super cool. Bandcamp has always had a big collection of indie bands, bands that we're into, like punk, ska, pretty much every genre.
That's a website that sells
stuff? If you go to Bandcamp right now, all the bands that are participating in Bandcamp, which is a lot of the stuff that we're into, punk, ska, every genre, for this week, they're actually waiving their fees.
Oh, cool.
Which means every dollar, if you go on, you could be skeezy and go on and just steal all the shit for free. Don't do that. And here's why. Their purpose for this is to, every dollar that you spend on Bandcamp right now will go directly to the artist, which means they can afford to pay their rent, get groceries, and do all the things that they do a musical career for. They do what they love, but that's how they support themselves, and right now they can't. So go on, whether it means getting an album, or you can pledge anything. Even if you pledge $5, that's a huge help. Exactly. And you can download the whole catalog, and there's thousands upon thousands of bands in there that need help. So, not only that, I'd like to give some specific plugs to bands. Over the years, I've always loved growing up. They're my favorite ska band, the Slackers. We've been lucky enough over years to become pretty good friends with them, and I feel very honored for that. But I've seen videos, and as everyone is struggling right now, and they need money to, they're all sitting at home, and they need to pay their rent. They need to survive. So tomorrow on Facebook and Instagram at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, lead singer Vic Ruggiero is going to be taking requests for your favorite Slacker songs. And I also encourage to go to their PayPal, which is slackermusic1991 at gmail.com. And please contribute anything you can. Yeah. Like I said, it's going to go to the band. It's going to help them out. And if you don't support these bands now, there's a good chance by the time this blows over, they're going to be at Kinko's working, and you're never going to hear shit from them again. So take that into consideration. It is, in fact, that dire of a straits situation. So also on Venmo, Slackers Music, they just opened a brand new eBay store. It's official Slackers. If you go on eBay, tons of new stuff, man. Like, I wish they had fat guy sizes and a couple of things that I really like. But go on there. Every dollar that you buy from the eBay store goes to them too. So Other than that, other bands have been doing stuff. We've been watching Andrew McMahon every night.
Yeah, he's been getting on Instagram Live and making a little cocktail and taking you to the music den. And
I mean, it really helps. It takes your mind off of things.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
In the punk community, I seen Fat Mike. Their new Effects album was coming out 3 months from now. He said, fuck it. He's putting it out now, song by song, his quote, not mine, make everybody happy before we all die. So that's true. That's Fat Mike at his finest. So other than that, I talked about Bandcamp. Specifically, I would like to talk about another cat before we move on. He's a local Pittsburgh dude. We're local Pittsburgh folks, so he's almost like our Weird Al. That's how I would imagine him. He does funny, witty little songs about weird shit like cereal, peanut butter, anything really. And he's got a bowl haircut. He's a real cool cat. Nice dude. And again, he has a family, and they canceled every gig he's had for the next few months. And those gigs were how he paid his electric bill. He's living paycheck to paycheck. You pay his electric bill, your utilities, your house, and you got to have some scratch in your pocket for food.
And did you mention his name?
Weird Paul Petroskey. And I'm going to tell you how right now. You can check him out. Don't check him out on Spotify because that's free. Go on his website. He has 25 albums. Buy some of his albums. Go to his store. Every penny you buy from him on his album, his website, goes to helping him. And I'm going to give you a Patreon, and I'm going to give you a PayPal too. So anything, like even $1, $5, every little bit adds up. Every little helps more than you think. So go to http://
Well, just go to patreon.com/
Weird Paul.
Weird Paul.
All one word, lowercase. And you can also go to PayPal. Same thing, www.paypal.me/Weird Paul. There you go. Help the guy out. Go check his music out, his videos. He always makes me almost piss my pants. So if you like weird shit like I do, you're going to love him. So.
Hey, don't forget to tell people what you've been doing with your time here. You've been...
masturbating a lot?
No, not that. I mean, if you have been, that's great. Good for you.
Oh.
Less work for me. Oh, no, I didn't. Anyway. No, what about Doobie Turtle?
Oh, jeez, yeah. You know what? I have to say, in these trying times, I'm thankful for Doobie Turtle.
Doobie Turtle.
Let me explain. My better half is, what's a nice way to put it, fucking deaf.
Wear earplugs, kids.
Whenever I tell her things, she'll think it means something that sounds not. This one actually similar. Normally, I'll be like, "Hey, is the roast done?" And you're like, "What about the books?" Like it's like shit like that. So like this one's actually within reason. But I'm sitting there one day and I was telling her my excitement. This was like 6 months ago. I was pre-ordering Doom Eternal. It is a game. First-person shooter, gates of hell open, you gotta stop it, close, you gotta shoot demons, blah, blah, blah. A great game. I'll gush about it here in a few seconds. But, so then she's like, Doobie Turtle? Why are you excited for that?
Doobie Turtle? I thought it was like a little turtle game, like with Frogger. Smoking a doobie.
So that sounds like a pretty exciting
I think
game.
we need to make this.
No, I wish I had a doobie right now. I'd be Doobie Turtling all day long. But, so it's forever in our house. It's become Doobie Turtle.
Doobie Turtle.
I mean, but anyway, speaking of Doobie Turtle, it is quite a great Doobie Turtle game. I have to say I've played every inclination of Doom games since the 90s. I've always been a fan. This is by far, I didn't think they could ever improve upon a simple formula. It's a run and gun, but this is so frenetic and exciting and challenging. You can't stay still for a second. It's like it's like you're jacked up on coke. You got a gun. You run. You can't stop.
I'm watching him play this. I'm like, is it always this fast? I'm getting dizzy. Like I can't watch
this. You stop
this.
for a second.
Wild.
You're dead. Like it's so like it's never boring, and it's one of those things where it's like it's really hard, but you're like into it, and you're like, all right, one more time. Like normally, if something is hard would frustrate me, I'd be throwing a controller. But
yeah, that's me.
But I'm just like,
play games.
all right, one more time. I almost got this one. All right, one more time. One more time turns into all day.
Yep. Which is good because you have the time now. So
Well, yeah. I mean, now is if I was working, I'd be in some serious trouble.
Right.
But my sleep is all fucked up from all this shit anyway, So, but that's another story.
Mm-hmm.
But Doom Eternal. It looks beautiful. It is executed. Controls are beautiful. Across the board, I feel it's the best Doom game they've ever made, and it's going to be a classic. So, Doom Eternal, great game, 10 out of 10. Doom Eternal.
Coming maybe
soon.
in a few years. Yeah, we'll get that patented. Yeah, we'll work on that.
But anywho, real quick before we get to the other, we got a couple other things to take care of in the show. I am friends also. You want to check out Joystick. You want to go to their page. You want to help Duck out. He's a personal buddy of mine. And they wrote a little song. It's a 20-second song about, washing your fucking hands during the apocalypse. Mm-hmm. So check that out. I think it's funny, and it's pretty meaning in 20 seconds. So a little punk song to remind you to wash your hands.
It's a song to help you to wash your hands too.
Yeah,
washing your hands.
When we get back, we're going to get to this woman right here. She last week I told you she has a brand new Depravity Corner. If you're just tuning in for the first time, every week, I know you're saying, how can anything be more fucked up than the world today? She finds the most fucked up true crime stories every week, cats, and she will share that with us when we get back. Xtina's Depravity Corner. And then to the icing on the cake is, after that, we have a very special guest this week. You know him as Art Clown from the horror film Terrifier. We know him as David Howard Thornton. And you know what? He's the nicest dude ever. Do you ever notice how the biggest villains in horror, the nicest people?
Wild to me. Wild. It's absolutely wild.
But other than that, cats, we're going to be coming back, doing the Xtina's Depravity Corner. Going to wrap this shit up with my interview with David Howard Thornton. I hope you love it. And who knows what else. But other than that, we'll be right back. Enjoy Joystick with Wash Your Hands.
You better wash your hands for 20 seconds. You better wash your hands for 20 seconds. You don't spread wash your hands.
Hey now, cats. I hope you like that song. It's a catchy little ditty, huh? But as I told you, it is now time for, you know her, you love her, Xtina. Let's hear your Depravity Corner this week. We haven't had one in a little bit, and I gotta say, I need depravity. I lust for it. If
you do?
No, I don't. Actually,
He can't handle it. You can watch horror movie after horror movie, but can't handle real life, which, I mean, yeah, I get that. It's way scary. And
this shit happens for real.
Right.
All the stuff while watching his makeup effects, and especially because I admire that. I'm like, wow, that looks really realistic.
Yeah.
That looks so realistic. It looks nothing like what it would really look like. So,
sorry, I'm a little sleepy here. This, a lot of doing nothing really makes you tired. I
gotta say, man, you sit here and it's like anxiety sets in, and depression. I'm like, fuck, I'm such a loser, and then. But then you're like, once I hear Xtina's Depravity Corner, it cheers me right up. So let's get right into it.
All right, then. So, a lot of you are stuck in your homes these days with your family, and I'm sure they're getting on your last nerve. Mm-hmm. Balls here has been kind enough to be watching the kiddo of mine, and she's a lot to deal with, and she giggles and stuff with her friends, and, on the phone, of course, we're social distancing.
It's not a giggle. A giggle is pleasant. It's not a giggle,
it's a cackle, according to
Imagine
Balls.
being in a hen house and having every hen in the whole place cackle at as loud as they possibly can.
So this is what he's doing.
And sit there for 14 hours and hear it nonstop. They don't even take a breath.
So, he's into wondering how long he might get in prison for murder, So apparently maybe a lot of people are considering murdering their family. But our friend here, Larry Ray, 66 in North Carolina, he did just that. Larry Ray. Yeah.
Wow, with a name like that, it's surprised he's a killer, right?
I know, it's pretty shocking. I actually thought maybe he was from Kentucky, but I couldn't find my story here. I lost it for a minute. I'm like, well, where'd that Kentucky story go? Nope, sorry, people in Kentucky. No offense, but stereotypes. But yeah, they're in North Carolina in this little community, kind of in the boonies, where there's maybe 6-7 houses, and the majority of them are all mom, dad, mother-in-law, brother, sister-in-law, kids. The whole freaking family lives in this neighborhood. So Larry apparently, he's had enough of this quarantining with the family and decided it was time. it was time to kill his wife and walk across the street and kill her mother. And she had visitors, which were, I believe, her daughter or son-in-law or whatever, and killed them too. And then, I think he took out another family member, and then he took out himself. Now, this is where I get pissed. Like, okay, fine. You want to kill all your family? Like, okay. Don't you want to, like, I guess, live to see yourself on the news? I mean, isn't that the point of killing all these people? Because you want to be, like, quote-unquote famous? Like, I don't get that. But, so he killed all these people, then he killed himself. And, for what? It's just kill yourself. If you're thinking of killing the family, just kill yourself. There's my advice. But, anyway... I guess the good news of it, if there's, sort of good news, his grandkid, 16 years old, was hiding in a closet during all this, and he heard shooting, called 911, and said, someone's in my house shooting everybody. And he didn't, at the time, I guess, know who was doing it, but, the 911 caller was asking questions, and I guess it got a little quieter, and he kind of peeked out of the closet and said, there's my dad, he's laying there dead, and there's blood everywhere. Can you imagine? I mean, this poor 16-year-old kid, and he has a 14-year-old brother who, by the grace of God, wasn't home, so, that's pretty good news. So, I guess the cops did get there, and they hollered and said, hey, and he's like, I'm in here. He's the only one within, like, the block of houses that was alive, because, he hid in the closet, and then, to find out that your mom's dead, your dad's dead, your grandpap killed them, killed himself, killed your grandma, killed your great-grandma, like, how do you go on? I mean, that's just, that's, like, the times aren't hard enough. Now this dude has to deal with this, him and his younger brother, and... talk about the worst time in your life for that to be happening. Is your teenage years. It's like, that's not hard enough. Now you got to deal with all this. So I'm really feeling for these boys, and there's a GoFundMe out there. I'm going to link it up here so that you can, even throw $5 on it or something just to help these boys. I mean, I have no idea who's going to continue to raise them. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody, but they're going to need help. I mean, they're going to need money to bury their family. I don't, where do they even get that money? I mean, it's wild. I can't even imagine. And I feel so bad. And what pisses me off even more is the dude, Larry Ray, that killed all these people. They suspected that he was going to do something like this. Like, the family kind of suspected this. He held a gun on his sister's husband before, like 10 years ago. She even called. I think he called her and told her he was going to do this. She called 911 like 20 minutes before this all happened and said, I think my brother's going to go on a shooting rampage. And, they could have done a drive-by. Like, the police could have done a drive-by and been like, just kind of like a welfare check, checking things out. And maybe, I mean, I know the police can't cure everything. They can't stop every criminal from committing a crime, and that's a tough situation. But, had people listened 10 years ago when he held the gun on her husband, he needed mental help and he should have gotten it. But unfortunately, there's no money to be had to help people with mental health conditions. Let me tell you, there's got to be money somewhere, and we've got to do something to bring these mental facilities back, because I think, so many crimes can be prevented by, having people locked up that definitely show signs of going psychotic. I mean, what do you think, Balls?
Well, I mean... It's not. I mean, this is just a reoccurring thing. I agree with you. I think the mental illness thing isn't taken. It's taken too lightly and turned a blind eye to a lot. Mm-hmm. Funding, that's like the first thing they cut. I mean, if a lot of these places were given more money and were able to be open and established, I think it would be a better thing. Yeah. But I mean, you also have to look at this too. I mean, there's people that are sociopaths, and there's people that are. Or not that. I mean, some people can be in fact corrected. Yeah. Some people just can't. So I mean, right. I definitely think that's a step in the right direction. But I mean, you're never going to fully.
Never going to cure.
You're never going to fully get everybody. But I definitely think it's foolish and irresponsible to not, do everything in your power to catch everybody that you can. And I mean, the government, as you know, as I do, they fund the stupider things and they sink money in the ridiculousness. You can't tell me that there isn't some money somewhere
to fund mental health.
To fund mental health. It's such an important issue. It could save so many more lives. It's worth every penny. And then they're funding like stupid shit like, hey, how long does a pair of socks last? And stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, surely we could
Surely
find
they
some.
can figure something out.
They could figure it out if they wanted to. But I mean,
sure.
that's just
So-
throw that on a pile of the 500 million other problems.
Right,
you know? It's
right.
like,
So I guess the moral of this story is, folks, I know you're going to get sick of your family. Go in another room. Go, if you have multiple levels, go in other levels. Pretend they're not there. Take
hold them
breaks.
down, fart on their head. That'll
Right.
make you feel better.
I mean, take breaks, social distance from your family, even in your own home, of course. But take a walk in the park. You can go to the park. You can go, walk down along the river or something like that. I mean, just to get out. But you can't. You got to try to just steer clear of people as much as possible. But don't let it get to the point where you're going to kill your family. That's my advice. Not worth it. It's not worth the jail time.
Nah.
Nah. Anywho, balls.
Plus, who are you going to irritate once they're gone? I mean,
Exactly.
geez. You're shooting yourself in the foot.
Think
per
of these
se.
things.
No pun intended.
Ba-dum-bump. What else we got, balls? Got a good interview coming up, huh?
Yeah, we do actually. That is the crown jewel in this show. So, trying to take your brain off, turn your brain off a little bit. I mean, I get so fed up with social media. Like, I mean, if there was a drinking game, every time you mention coronavirus, I wouldn't have to worry about it. 'Cause I'd be dead in 5 minutes. So I mean, you gotta go. I want to just go away to Ballsville for a little bit, or it's happy.
Is it happy in
It's
Ballsville?
beautiful. It's great. I love it.
wow.
I do like to come back sometimes.
Cool.
Turn your brain off. Don't worry about shit. If we all help each other and pull together, instead of being selfish, self-absorbent, greedy fucking jerk-offs, we're going to get through this.
That's right.
So we're fucked. That's never going to happen.
I know.
So in the meantime, enjoy this interview with David Howard Thornton. See you later, cats.
Later.
Hey now, cats. We're back again this week. I am at Horror Realm, as I said before, in Pittsburgh, PA. You know him. You love him. If you know the film Terrifier, you're surely going to know this guy. This is David Howard Thornton, or you know him as Art the Clown. Thank you so much for being a guest, man. I really appreciate you doing this. I just have to tell you, I'm a humongous fan. I think you're just an icon already, man.
That's so weird to hear.
How is it like? You're almost like an overnight sensation. Like, has your life changed like overnight?
Oh, very much so, yeah. I waited tables for about 13 years, and now I don't have to wait tables anymore. So that was a big change for me. I'm very grateful for.
Well, I know anybody that watches my show. It's primarily about horror and different things we like, but a lot of people that aren't. I mean, where'd you grow up at? What was your upbringing?
I grew up in Huntsville, Alabama, of all places. So I come from a family, engineers and teachers, and actually got a degree in teaching myself, and decided to instead go into acting during my last semester of college. I'm like, I want to do this instead. My dad's like, okay.
So they were very supportive.
Yes. It was about a year after my mom passed away, and it's like I just had a whole epiphany about what I want to do with my life, and realized life's too short not to do what you really want to do. And so I'm like, I want to do this.
Now, what was that definitive moment that made you realize that this is what you had to do?
It was, oddly enough, I was doing story time with my students, and I do a lot of voices, and I was doing and I discovered that I was getting more fulfillment out of entertaining my students, making them laugh and all that, instead of actually teaching them. I'm like, I like this. Maybe this is what I need to do. I feel like this is my calling in life, is to entertain people, and that's what I did. I said, well, let's go ahead and try this. At least give it a try, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but at least I tried.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you've become such an icon now. Like, would it bother you if, like, that's all you were remembered for?
No, why would it bother me? That's like, I know so many people that are just as talented as me, if not more talented than I am, that have been struggling for years to try to break into the industry. So I mean, that to feel like that's all, to have that kind of attitude is ridiculous, because I'm lucky to be where I am. I'm very grateful for just being able to play this character. If I'm known for just art, so be it.
You exude so much in your acting with this character. I mean, what do you? Let me ask you a two-part question. What do you like the most about scaring people? And obviously, how did you learn to emote through your body so well?
Well, I've always loved scaring people. That was like something my mom and I used to do to each other growing up. We would have competitions throughout. There was never a safe place in the house. I would even be in the shower and she would do something to scare me in the shower, and vice versa. So it's like that. I grew up just scaring people. I love to scare people. I don't do it to one of my roommates because he's a bouncer. So I'm like, no, I don't want to go flying through the door. Yeah, I'm like, no, he's a big guy. I'm like, no, okay, you're safe. You were safe. But I love doing it. I find it hilarious. I love watching videos when people get scared. I think those videos, they crack me up so much.
I'm a fan of those as well.
Oh my God, they're so funny. So I love that. But as for the physical aspects, I grew up watching the great, silent comedians like Chaplin, Keaton, Marx Brothers, even like Mr. Bean. My aunt gave
Ron
me.
Atkinson, he's amazing.
My aunt gave me, when I was about 13 years old, gave me a box set of Mr. Bean tapes, and I just devoured those. And I was like, I had always wanted to play a character like that because it's one thing to tell a story with words. It's another thing to convey all of that through actions alone. It's a totally different thing, and you don't see that very much anymore.
No, you don't. That's what's
love it.
That's what's amazing about it. Like you can, there's horror villains, but like just your movements and actions and things, it's terrifying. No pun intended.
Well, thank you. That's where I cut my teeth, and I grew up doing a lot of children's theater in my hometown, and children are more into the physical comedy than they are into the verbal comedy.
Yeah.
And so I really honed my skills doing a lot of that, but who really helped me fine-tune everything, because they don't really teach this in schools, was the great Stephen Carl, who played Robbie Rotten on Lazy Town. Okay. I was his understudy for 5 years as the Grinch.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he actually did go to like a clown college or something like that out in Iceland where he was from. And so he was a master at physical comedy, and so he really helped, he took me under his wings and really helped me fine-tune my abilities. And so I have a lot of moments on set where I'm like, well, how would Stefan approach this moment here? Okay, cool, I know what to do.
So under his tutelage, you got to develop a lot of cool things.
I did.
Let me ask you this. What's one thing that you can tell my audience that may surprise them about you?
Oh, well, since I'm known for playing a silent character, what might surprise you is I do over 200 different character voices and like 25 different accents. So it's like, it's kind of ironic that I'm known for playing a silent character. So, and I'm a big musical theater nerd too. That's why I moved to New York. I wanted to do Broadway. So instead, I'm killing people. So there you go.
Let me ask, do you believe in the supernatural, the paranormal?
Oh, yeah.
Can you cite any examples?
Oh gosh, I've had lots of experiences. Actually,
what is your most terrifying example?
Well, I had one where I had scared my roommate at the time. He had a big fear of zombies, so I dressed up as a zombie and hid in the bathroom while he was on a date one night. Told him I wasn't going to be home, and he went to go use the bathroom, and I came out from behind the curtain, scared him. Well, I wake up in the middle of the night, and we had a little ghost of a boy that haunted our apartment, but I had never seen him before. I wake up, because I just felt something was wrong in my room. I wake up, and it's standing at the foot of my bed is that boy. He's got like a striped shirt on, and he's just staring at me like this, look like.
Wow.
And so I'm making eye contact with something that should not be there, and that was like the most unnerving thing ever. And ooh.
You see, a lot of people say like that's like what do you call it, sleep paralysis and things. I don't buy that.
Oh, no, I could totally move and everything.
I've had so many different experiences. When I was younger, I thought it was all bullshit. Then once you have your first one, you're like, okay, there might be something on
I've had several other experiences like that. We actually had some on set recently, this place we were filming in Philly, and we had like this doll go off in a different room that's motion sensitive, but no one was on set that was in that room at the time, and so that freaked us out. Then we had our DP starts yelling at someone to get out from in front of the camera, and there was no one standing there, but he could distinctly see someone walking in and out of the camera. And that, a few minutes after that, we had this door that was open behind us and we had to close it for continuity. He's like, someone close that door, and the door just goes and closes by itself. It's like, whoa.
Well, now that you brought it up, I'd like to talk about Terrifier 2 is coming up. Everybody's
Yes.
super duper excited. I know you probably can't say a lot, but is there any little thing you could give us about that?
Oh boy, it's going to be bigger and better than the first one. We're being a lot more ambitious. We have a real plot this time, I guess, because I knew that was some people's critiques of the first one. It was very bare bones plot-wise.
Yeah, I thought it had that like cool 80s thing though, because
Yeah.
if you go back and you look at that kind of stuff, that was the same thing.
Right.
I mean, that's almost like an homage.
And that's what we were trying to do. We were trying to let the audience be in the same like mindset as the victims. That like this is all happening in real time.
Yeah.
So they know as much as the victims do at the time. So that's that. But this one we want to now start fleshing out the world around art. So we're bringing in a really kick-ass protagonist for this one. Y'all are gonna love her. She's fantastic. And we really go at it in this one. So we just filmed the big, huge climax of the film recently. It took several days, but it's something else.
Can you confirm nor deny that there'll be any cameos from previous?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there are going to be some cameos here or there.
Can you tell us a time frame as to when we might expect the trailer at least?
We're hoping to drop the trailer, I would say, around May or June.
Oh.
So yeah, we're hoping to actually we're going to be at Texas Frightmare in
nice.
early May, so we're hoping to drop the trailer there. So we'll
Awesome.
see if we can get it done in time.
Let me ask you what, I know you like scaring the shit out of people, but what are your other hobbies other than that?
I'm a big video game nerd.
Oh, yeah, me
I
too.
love games.
Nice.
That's how I de-stress. I love to escape that way.
Now, do you like more modern games? I'm more of like an old 8-bit, like
Oh,
retro
both.
kind of.
Oh,
Like I can
both.
appreciate both, but I'm more into like old
Yeah.
8 retro stuff.
Oh yeah, I have my SNES Classic that I bought a few years ago. I love, but I play PlayStation 4 all the time too. I just recently finished Jedi Fallen Order, which I love.
I have to get it. That's on my list. I'm playing through Man of Medan right now.
Oh yeah. It's all good stuff.
We could go on all night.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I'm
I won't
excited
even.
about so many things coming out. I'm so excited about the new consoles coming out this year. I'm like, yes.
What do you think, in your own perspective, makes your acting unique from everybody else?
I guess what makes mine a little bit more unique is like I'm more into the physical. I love physical comedy, and that's what I like to bring into it. Because I loved also Jim Carrey, and it's like you don't see that style that much anymore, and I miss it. So I'm wanting to bring some of that back.
Physicality and comedy.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, so I guess that kind of separates me a little bit from a lot of the others right now. But
Being that you're such a powerhouse now, I mean, have you experienced any jealousy from people that you didn't knew you before? Like, I mean, are people treating you weird now that you're kind of famous?
not really. Not that I know of, at least to my face.
I mean, do people think you're rich now and you have like 68 cousins calling you all the time?
Not yet. No. I'm definitely not rich yet. But, but yeah, I think my sister expects more for Christmas every year now. But I'm like, that's my sister anyway. So what can you do? Bless her heart.
Now, let me ask you this: being an actor, do you think that has a toll on your personal relationships with being friends, family, loved ones? Is it hard? Does it ever take a toll?
It can be, because I'm like, I'm still not married yet, so it's kind of hard to date and everything like that, especially when
Now
you're
you
on the
have
go
to
all
think
the
if
time.
people are they going to love me for me, or they're going to love me because I'm a celebrity?
That is a thought that has crossed my mind several times, because that's true. Some people can be very shallow that way,
Yeah.
and so I'm pretty picky when it comes to who I date anyway. So I try to weed that out.
What was your best and worst film? What was your best and worst experience on a film set?
Oh gosh, probably my best experience was on the first set where we had a bunch of cops show up one night.
Oh, goodness.
Because there was a fight that broke out between these two women about 2 o'clock in the morning in Trenton outside the building we were filming in, and I was bored, so I went to watch the fight, and I forgot how I looked, and I had blood all over me and everything, and one of them looks up, and I'm like, hi! It scares, and they go running off. About 15 minutes later, our producer and Damien come in, they're really giddy, like, Dave, we got some people out here who want to meet you. I'm like, oh, sweet! I thought it might have been because at the time our producer was working with Tom Sizemore on another production. I thought maybe he had come to visit set or something. Like, oh, sweet, gonna meet Tom Sizemore. Oh, and go out and I roll up the garage door and I'm greeted to like 15 of like New Jersey's finest and full-on riot gear. I'm like, ooh, I just felt my butt go on me. I'm like, oh, what's up, guys? And there's like silence for a few seconds. I'm like, I'm about to die. Oh my God, I'm about to die. And then they just start laughing their heads off. And they're like, yeah, you'd be glad you didn't come out here for us because we would have shot you on sight. I'm like, I believe you. I believe you. So that was but it was such a funny experience because they're all getting their pictures made with me. There was this one cop that was terrified of me because he could not stand clowns. I'm like, dude, you got a rocket launcher on you. You're okay. You are going to be just fine, man. It's like, nah. They're all making fun of him. So that was a fun night, but probably one of the worst nights I had was this year on set, where I wish I could say what the scene was, but you'll know it when you see it because I am literally covered from head to toe in blood.
Ooh.
And we had no heat in the room, and I had to go inside and outside, and it was very, 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 very cold that night, and that was miserable. It was hours of that.
Have you ever gotten sick from the physicality of filming a role?
Not really sick per se, but this production, art's a lot more physical this time around with fights and stuff like that, so I've sometimes woken up the next day with a few bruises on me, and so even Damien has from just showing me what he wanted me to do, and I'm like, so it takes a little bit of a toll on you sometimes, but I'm basically doing all my own stunts in this. So,
last question: once you get in the mindset of playing Art the Clown, is there a certain thing that you prepare yourself to get into that role, and is it hard to get out of that mindset once you're in it?
I'm one of those actors, like once I understand the character, I can go turn it on, turn it off, just like that. So it's like once I understand the character, I know how to find him. And so I don't go full on method, and I think that's probably a lot of my co-stars are very happy about that. It's kind of funny because like here we are doing these big, huge fight scenes, we're wailing on each other. As soon as they say cut, we're like, both of us are like, Lauren, our female lead, and I, we're both like, are you okay? Are you okay? You're okay? I didn't hurt you or anything. Like, no, we're fine. Okay. No, hug. Okay, action. It's kind of funny that way.
Can you tell us where to find you, keep up with you on the net?
Yes, I'm on Instagram and both Facebook under David Howard Thornton, so you can find me on there.
Well, there you have it, man. Thank you for stopping by, or me stopping by, and hanging out with me and being on my show. I quite appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you so much,
Thanks
sir.
for
It's always
having
a
me on
pleasure.
board. Yes.
Peace and love.
Yes, peace and love.